Hey guys, Liquid Soup here. I'm here for another video. This is going to be a new what if. I know prior I started the Sage of Six Paths, but I wanted to do this one because this is one of my favorite characters in Star Wars, and I'm going to do it. And this is going to be what if Deku was the reincarnation of Yoda. And the way we're going to do it is that he's going to have all the memories of his abilities. Nothing prior to that, just his abilities, all the martial art forms he's learned, his pretty much basic combat skills, and the abilities he has. That's it. And the way this is going to work is how and it's gonna be is kind of gonna be like how Anakin was born. So Inko is technically going to be a Mandalorian, and she's gonna be one of the best Mandalorians. She's gonna be one of the best. How should I put it? If you guys seen the Mandalore, you see the chiefess that was the blacksmith. That was pretty much Inko. And before they got raided and all that thing happened, let's just say they were pretty much the Mandalorians were looking for a new home, and they stumbled upon Earth. But going towards Earth, Inko was impregnated by the Force, and Deku was born. And but this is during. It's gonna take some time because it's gonna take 9 months and all that shit. So it took them about, let's say, about a week to make it to planet Earth, or at least the My Hero Academia universe. And once they get there, they pretty much make negotiations of them moving into the planet. Everybody was accepted because most of them did look humanoid, but most of them were aliens. But they Mandalorians never cared about race or creed. Once you join, you pretty much join their creed and family, and you are a Mandalorian. They adopt you to the religion. So when Inko, the leader of the Mandalorians at that time, where her husband, well, I wouldn't say she had a husband. Yeah, bump that. Fuck you, Hazashi. So pretty much Inko, she was the wielder of the black saber, which was the pretty much the head lightsaber that proves to people that you are the head Mandalorian. And up to that point, let's say about 6 months, and this is when Inko finds out she's actually pregnant. So all the Mandalorians in the world that landed there are in immediate protection mode for her, because they know she never had a husband. How is this possible? They took it as a sign of their religion, saying, "Hey, whoever is gonna come to be will be the leader of the Mandalorians." After those 9 months pass, Deku or Izuku was born. And when Izuku was born, the whole world goes into pitch black. And the moment he comes out the womb, the whole world shines brightly to his presence. And all you see is the from the window the sun shining towards Izuku. And during this whole situation, everybody's just panicking because they just don't know what's going on. So when Inko saw this, she took it as a sign saying this is going to be the new leader of the Mandalorians. So we're gonna do a small time skip, let's say till, let's say, four-ish. The Mandalorians live in a separate district. I would like to say, because they're pretty much gonna be the the all the Mandalorians. Let's say they all landed in Japan. So right as of now, Japan has become the most safest place from Tokyo down. Above Tokyo, the Mandalorians don't patrol. So that's the hero organization's area. But since the contract stated, let's say when they got there, they had to form a contract saying that they would be like the police force or like the hero organization for the lower half of Japan, so they could secure it better. And we'll say when Izuku turns about three-ish, Inko meets let's say All Might, and they start talking, because my boy's gonna need a father figure. He ain't gonna be only with a single mama. And let's say Inko got attracted to to Yagi's personality and his muscles. And then we'll do another time skip to when he's 4. This is when Inko meets Bakugo's mother, which I don't remember her name, which kind of sucks right now because what was her name? I'm not even gonna try to remember. Bakugo's mom. They get together. They start being friends and friends. And around this time is when Izuku starts training extensively with the Mandalorians. And this is before he realized he can wield a lightsaber. This is when he's just doing firearm training, pretty much getting his armor. He up to when he turns 4, this is when he gets introduced to the helmet. And pretty much what I'm trying to say is when Mandalorians gain their helmet, when they put it on, they can't take it off. Only to when they are alone or when they're near their mother or their parents, they're allowed to take it off and clean themselves and shit. But anything past that, they can never take off the helmet when they're on missions or anything. They can't take it in front of people. But they made this known to the people, stating that it's their religion. They can't do that. They can't take it off. So everybody knows why Mandalorians have their helmets on and their armor. And this is when Deku. Fuck, I keep saying Deku, but you know what? It just makes it easier for me to say Deku because everybody fucking calls him Deku. So Deku pretty much gains his helmet, and this pretty much signifies that he's now a Mandalorian. So he trains as such. So Inko trains him in multiple disciplines, like say from forms 1 through 7, because she did need to wield her lightsaber in certain occasions, and she did teach him in firearm training mostly to as a child because it's easier. And during this duration, he meets Bakugo, and then Bakugo notices a change. He pretty much Bakugo is in a cunt. He isn't a little bitch. He ain't a fucking little bully motherfucker. Cause Deku was stronger than him in any fucking way. And just another thing. Rewind. This is the reincarnation of Yoda. That doesn't mean he's gonna look like Yoda. This man's gonna be a G. That's all you gotta know. He's gonna be looking like Izuku, but my boy is gonna be a G. He's gonna be 6'3" in the future. And back to the story. When he turns 4, when he's hanging out with Bakugo, this is when his powers are starting to show. And when his powers start to show, Inko and I think her name was Mizuki, Mitsuki. I think that's her name. I don't want to fuck it up because I don't want to say shit. But when I, after Bakugo and Deku were playing, one of one of Deku's powers unlocked, and let's say this is the force ability where he's able to levitate stuff using his mind and push things. And he pretty much realizes that if he trains it to a certain extent, he can lengthen his his use time with the force. So this he starts meditating and just extensive meditation every day with and his mother always keeping an eye on him. And this is when he gains these memories of a short green little alien, and he's pretty much fighting against Count Dooku. During this fight, he just sees how fluid his moves are. Like how quickly he moves to dodge the strikes that Count Dooku has been making. He's just going back and forth, moving around as quickly as he possibly can to get a slash or stab in. And he just continually moves around to successfully gain hits on Count Dooku and pretty much defeats him. And during this time, he wakes up and he starts realizing there's more things to the Force and to sword play than he could possibly think of. So this is where we're gonna do a time skip to let's say he's 4, let's say 10. He pretty much remembers forms 1 through let's say you know what 1 through 4, and from 1 through 4 he realizes that a single blade is good, but he in his heart he feels like two blades would be better. So this is when he starts dual blading training, where he just starts dual wielding lightsaber. Well, I wouldn't say lightsabers. I'll say kendo blades, like kendo wooden blades, so he could practice because his mother wouldn't fully trust him with the lightsaber yet because he doesn't want to. She doesn't want him to cut off something pretty much. During this time, Inko sees how focused and how mentally prepared Izuku is to start his actual Mandalorian training. So his mom decided to prepare him for the trial to become the leader of the Mandalores. And to prepare him, this is going to take at least a 6 to 5 year preparations to prepare him for the trial. And this up to this point, Izuku has unlocked, let's say, I say a solid 65% of his abilities, which is super like ex- a huge amount of stamina, so he could do acrobatic skills, like he could move around and stuff like that. He has a hyper intelligence where he's super smart. He pretty much has a photogenic memory, all that stuff, and he has super speed, super strength. Of course, he has the force, extensive agility, body puppeteering, chi manipulation, um, clairvoyance, uh, let's say force fields, super jumps, levitation, long, and he doesn't. And I won't give him longevity until he turns older, where he can when he finds out he can slow down his aging with while using the force. And up to this point, Izuku has he's become a master martial artist where he's really good in hand-to-hand combat. He could power sense. He could sense people while he closes his eyes. Because for his force training, he uses a cloth to cover his eyes, and he makes his mom attack him in his training. So he could just use his pure reflexes of indicating where something's coming to him. And his telekinesis is off the charts. His telepathy is off his charts, and he realized he's gained a resistance since he was increasing his telepathy that other people can't break into his mind. And he also has Vita Kinesis where he could heal people. And the reason he knows this is because when he got stabbed at one point when in his training because he wasn't paying attention, he had a feeling that he should just focus the force into it, like focus energy into his body and place his hand over the part he stabbed. Let's say he had like a deep cut inside his left arm and he just put his right hand hovering over his left arm and he heals it, and his mom was highly impressed because she never knew that those powers existed. And this is when she really truly knew that this boy is gonna be a fucking OP as hell. He's just gonna be strong. And all my I don't want to make him seem like a deadbeat, but my man's he's been there for the kid. He's pretty much training him physically, making sure he's physically fit. Martial like they always spar together. He's always there. He's pretty much a number one dad, my guy. But Izuku knows that he's not gonna be there all the time because he is the number one hero in Japan. So he has to go out. And during this duration, while Bakugo and Deku go to school, they pretty much since the Mandalorians have such increased income for every Mandalorian because they're constantly working patrolling the cities that they're designated in, they have money incoming to their into their family. So they're really rich, and so they decided pretty much Inko decided, hey, we should get better classes for our kids, and she didn't mind paying, so she was like, it's better if I pay because like since I don't want you to feel bad that we're wasting, like we don't want, we're pretty much giving you your child a scholarship to go to the school with Izuku because he doesn't want to go by himself, and I'm pretty sure if he Bakugo didn't go, he's not going anywhere. So they start going to a school where Mina, Kirishima, Momo, and let's say Todoroki. This is before the I got burned type of situation. No. Yeah, let's say he's already fucking scarred. My man's already got daddy issues. And this at this time, Deku is training in his weather controlling Because one day in training, All Might showed him a punch that could change the weather, and he was like, I wonder if I could do that. And he tried using the Force, and he freaking made it start raining and shit, and he made it start snowing at random, just changing the weather. Like, but he didn't have any control to what type of weather would come out. So, the fuck? Ooh, Zexel's up. Wasn't paying attention. So pretty much, at this time, Deku, let's do another time skip. For let's say beginning of middle school. This is when they move to the new school where they meet the others. And oh yeah, Momo's in there. If I didn't say that, Momo's in there. And pretty much Bakugo and Deku. Deku pretty much put the mindset to Bakugo that they need to protect the weak always, no matter what. Like it's just Izuku had a way of talking to Bakugo where Bakugo always understood, even without looking at him. Since he had telepathy, they would always talk to each other through the mind, and they became so close that they became brother. Where it's up to the point where Bakugo unlocked telepathy just because he got used to contacting Izuku. And just to make it a little bit more fun, Izuku teaches Bakugo how to use the Force because he has the metachlorian count to use the Force, let's say. And once he found out that that Bakugo had a high McLaurin count, hopefully I said that properly. Don't come at me. And Deku starts training him on using the Force, teaching him like the basics of what he learned, because I'm pretty sure Deku knows a good fucking bit after he just remembered all his fucking past memories of combat, of wars he'd been through, that his past life went through, and he just becomes so combat smart where in any fight he thinks 20 steps or like maybe till the end of the fight type plans where it's just so complicated that he thinks of the ending of the fight so fast and he finishes it in maybe 2 to 3 steps or maybe one step at a time. And Bakugo and Deku always train at school. They're always in the kendo clubs. They do physical. They pretty much protect everybody. They're like the protectors, the guardians they call them. And and just so y'all know, Izuku does have the helmet always on, always, unless he's at home by himself. But it's up to the point where Bakugo was now a Mandalorian because his family found the religion so well imbued where it's just everyone's together no matter what. So they decided to join that religion and they became Mandalorians or adopted a Mandalorians, where Bakugo starts using the helmet as well, and we'll just say it's kind of similar to Izuku's, and they're both wearing their helmets and they're pretty much the guardians of the people. And we'll still say that sometimes Bakugo's little some pride comes out sometimes where he knows he's a little too good for his situation. And dude, I ran out of things to do. Yeah, I did. Uh oh. Okay. And then during this situation, Izuku and Deku meet people in his class. Since this is the beginning of the year, I would say. No, we'll say middle, like mid middle school years, which is like from 6 to 8, if I remember correctly. Let's say this is like 7th grade. Okay, guys, sorry, this is a little bit after the video. It turns out I had a little mess up where my mic turned off, and I didn't realize for a couple, like let's say 2 minutes. And this is pretty much where I'm gonna end the part. Sorry that I have to leave it off a little bit short, but thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe, and goodbye.